A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is the 28th of January, 2026. Yes, we're already heading towards the end of the first month of the year. Welcome back to the channel. And as always, like, share, and subscribe if you're watching live, if you're watching it afterwards. Also, watch my short videos. I did something earlier today on Inter Kashi and their plans for their ISL debut. Did something yesterday about the scheduling, which has been announced, the Kerala Blasters, stuff about other things, Indian football, international football. Watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos, hype them as well. And sorry. And yes, and as always, thank you for your support. And it's about growing the community. We stand today at 3,723 as I start this show. And yeah, thank you, as always, as I say, for your support. Then without your support, I and this channel, it won't be able to grow. And I guess you guys will have made some observations. And today, I don't know if you've observed things in a way or not. And on the socials of the Indian Super League, because the Indian Super League today, one second, did I see it? The Indian Super League is now has a new the Indian Super League without Reliance and the Indian Super League without Star Sports. And yeah, and that is something which is interesting to see. So therefore, that is what seems to have been the socials have been handed over, and we'll wait and speak about it a little bit more. So you won't believe what I saw on KNTV. All AIFF robbers sitting under one roof. Real entertainment. Okay, Rahul. RRC game, welcome back as well. Who do you mean, Rahul, by that? The other topic, of course, of the day is the I League and the status of the I League, so to say, which is going to be an interesting one to see. Where does that stand? Because the I League today was announced as being divided into two stages. So the I League will happen from the 21st of February onwards, and it would be similar, and the first stage would be like in the ISL, and each team play each other, and then the teams would be divided into a top six playing home and away to decide the champions, and there would be a bottom five who play each other, and they would decide who would get relegated. So therefore, that's the thing. Interesting is what was announced, amongst other things. 21st of February, I-League kickoff, and the match scheduling is to be handled by an AI-based system to eliminate human interference. And furthermore, match production will be maintained as per the standards established last season. Okay, sounds good. Don't know what it means, but we will most probably figure out later on. RSC says, RIP to I-League 2007, 2025. Now it's Indian Football League. We'll have to wait and see what it is, right? I mean, we can think about a lot of things, laugh about a lot of things, but I think we don't know where this whole thing at the moment is heading, because I think there's a lack of clarity where the whole league is heading and how it will be structured, how it will be run. But again, it looks like the AIFF had to present something, and that's it. Like, So let's place our hands on our hearts and let's think that if we were sponsors of Asheville, would we redo it? That's the answer, sir. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, if I'm an ISL if I was an ISL sponsor, um, again, that's also a very big thing. Um, and yeah, and yeah, it's difficult to say that, right? It would be my thing. Seem to be like, yeah, sabka job, yeah, jayega. Let's wait and see. Um, the idea is not bad because I know that, for example, for Champions League and other things, also UEFA, FIFA, and all these organizations have actually used computers or AI's tools in the last few years to try and sort it out. I don't know how the AI works in the AIFF, but that would be an interesting thing to see. Is iLeague renaming it? And what is the structure and system? What's your opinion, clear from your point of view, bro? Uh, did I miss something about iLeague renaming? I don't. Or did I miss? Wait 1 second. Did I miss something somewhere? Um, 1 second. Let me just check one thing. As far as I know, the I League is still named the I League, right? Um, the point here is very simple. What the AIFF and the clubs have discussed and decided um, is to have a first leg similar to what the ISL is playing. But unlike the ISL, where 13 matches season finished, you will have a first stage, home and away, single leg. And then there is the so-called second stage, where the teams are going to be divided into two groups. Top half will advance to a home and away championship round, while the bottom half will compete a centralized relegation round. And all points from the initial stage will carry forward to preserve the competitive context of the league. So, meaning that if you are in the top six, you're going to fight for the title and potentially promotion to the ISL. And if you are in the bottom five, you will try to avoid being bottom two because that would mean relegation. So you would have most probably, if you're talking about the centralized venue with five teams, it means 4 matches to decide who stays or who goes down from the I League. So that is my current understanding of where we are and how things stand. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that's my understanding of things surrounding the I League. And yeah, so therefore, that is that where the I League stands and where the ISL stands. And we'll have to wait and see what happens to both of these leagues. But again, interesting on one side to see that the new Indian Super League, so to say, is going to happen without uh, any logo of Reliance or Star. So that's visible now in its new, and so that's one. And the other one we'll have to wait and see. I mean, to me, that's the challenge I guess we have in our football at this moment in time. And yeah, let's see where we head with that. So on Twitter, that club wants to start a new click system like the U21 team. Vignesh, I don't know what Twitter says. There is a general discussion in German football happening um, that there should be, and that there should be the bridge between the under 19 Bundesliga uh, um, and the second team or reserve team of the clubs, which is under 23. The jump is to uh, uh, is too big, and therefore um, very interesting to see how this can work out for the for the German system. And yeah, let's wait and see what happens down the road. Right. So what? Sorry. So come back to that specific question. The under 21s in the German pyramid per se doesn't exist. So there isn't any, and it is yeah. So therefore, for me, um, there is no thing. At this point of time, do you think that it would have been good to merge I-League clubs and ISEC clubs into one league, bro? No, Alice. The most sorry, whoever says this makes no sense in my opinion, because I think rather than merging leagues, I would have rather preferred even to look at options. Um, you know that the I feel that a smaller, more competitive league would have been better rather than a uh, um, bigger league, because we don't have the player pool, right, for a first year, second tier. Yeah, so therefore it's interesting, and it's a little confusing as well. But to me, no, makes no sense. Good to see Indian U17. Opala. Good to see India U17 playing Tajikistan. Good competition. Hope it makes team sharp. And what do you think about I League proposal? How it was? How is it? I didn't understand properly. Yeah, under 17. I think the biggest update without an update is that Bibiano Fernandez continues to be the head coach. So that's the big news. Um, yeah, and to me, mm, the question is how are we going to work on this system of clubs and not clubs is going to be the leagues is going to be the question. Yeah, the I League very simply it copies, so to say, what has been made for the ISL. It has the um, Swiss model in the first leg, and then somewhat which is similar to what has been played in Switzerland, or maybe played even in Scotland. So therefore, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But um, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. As I say, we'll have to wait and see what they're gonna do. But it to me, it looks. If you look at the first leg, all teams play each other. 11 teams. It's interesting because we still have the topic of what are your, what's happening with Delhi FC, because I've not seen anything, so to say, about Delhi FC and sorting out relegation. But it looks like Delhi FC and um, Sporting Club Bangalore are out, and you'll play a first leg, um, and yeah, and very interesting to see which what um, a top six on one side, a lower. a top six, so to say, playing out the champions, and uh, a bottom five at a central venue. So therefore, let's wait and see. And of course, Indian Football League has been proposed as a new name. Let's wait and see if that gets accepted. Hey Akash, creating more confusion in football parent for changing the name. Akash, again, the main problem to me is that they're not focusing on the work that they need to focus on, right? As always, they're focusing on something which is like, to me, is a side hustle, is not the most important thing. Rather, not focusing on what needs to be done rather than that. Any update on the women team playing any matches, or again without matches for a month? Shanlata, they're training in Turkey. I think if I understand it right, they will stay in Turkey, and I think they might play the Turkish Super Cup at some stage in February. Just name ISL 2, 3, 4, or IFL 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Akash, let's wait and see what they do. You have other countries as well where you've got a confusion in regard to the name. Look at America, where you have the MLS as the top tier, and you've got the USL as your second, and the USL is now doing a second, third, and fourth tier. Um, yeah, it is making confusing for casual audience or first time audiences. Akash, yeah, do let's wait and see what they're doing. It's proposed. Good evening, sir. Any news? Utsav, news is today the socials of the Indian Super League seems to have switched hands to the AIFF. So, despite the logos having not switched, from what I see, the logos are still the old one, but at least there are now graphics which have been posted, and which does not show Reliance and Star anymore. That's one. Then there was a press conference with the I League clubs, and interesting is that in the press release of the AIFF, the whole Indian Football League proposal is that does not appear. Very, very interesting, right? So they only talk about the 2025-26 season, but they do not mention anything else. But according to what is said in the press conference, that is one of the things that's going to happen, right? So it's very, very confusing. And so the EXCO has to still clear the whole proposal. But again, I still don't understand why would I change it from I League to Indian Football League. What is the value of having Indian Football League and Indian Football League 2 or whatever? It's a an unnecessary rebranding exercise. Are they changing the name of ISL something? No, Hannibal, not ISL as far as I know. You know, but you know, we will have to wait and see what comes out of what they're doing. At the moment, the Indian Super League stays the Indian Super League. And the rest, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I think Mr. Bajaj made more money from Anwar transfer than the rest of the ISL clubs, says Akash. Federation is creating the solution of a problem that doesn't exist. Yeah, Akash. And uh, um, so for me, the problem of the whole situation is to understand your main problem is trying to run the league, and you're more bothered about changing the name. Wrong priorities, right? As always, wrong priorities, which you've seen multiple times. I don't know how many times we've seen this, as you know, and I know, over the years. Right, nearly 20 minutes. Quick reminder: like, share, subscribe. Only 4 likes so far, guys. I think we can do better than that. And if you want to subscribe, we stand at 3,724 as I speak to you. Thank you very much. Slowly growing. And watch the short videos. I did something on Inter Kashi today, speaking about them and their work, and and what their thinking and planning is. Looking a little deep dive and also the signings, so do look into it. Arunava, do you see the presented changes of I-League participating club model in the interview as a step forward? See, I'm skeptical about clubs, you know, being part of something, right? My thing with the clubs is, if we look at the Indian Super League as an example, the challenge with the clubs is, can the clubs manage themselves a league, right? So my question is that you're shortening the process of doing a first, uh, um, that's okay, right? That you have a first leg and then you have a second leg and then you try something. They want their logic is of the whole division of the second half of the season into a top six and a bottom five is to keep the race directly for the title and the relegation races relevant, right? I think the word dead rubbers, reduction in the number of dead rubbers is something that was used. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Um, you have, like the proposal in the ISL, have a governing council and management committee. Interestingly, that in the I League, uh, uh, um, that in the I League, the control factor was not discussed or put into the system as it was in the ISL. Mm, that was an interesting one. So therefore, that will be very interesting to see. So therefore, um, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But again, I think um, on certain issues, I think the FF has learned some lessons of what they've been doing wrong in regard to the ISL. Are a change in name of I League? Yes, Utsav, supposedly Indian Football League, has been proposed, even though, interestingly, it's nowhere written in the FF press release itself. So I don't know if that is a proposal being put forward for the long term. Maybe we'll have to see what they're doing and, let's see. Now, the 17 is up for a challenge in Tajikistan. What do you make out of this fixture in terms of preparation building up for AFC Asian Cup? Shivam, any matches are good. But again, playing two matches in Tajikistan now is good. I think the bigger news is, if I get it right, that Bibiana Fernandez is staying, right? Which something which we haven't discussed, right? So to me, um, the bigger point of this whole conversation should be that Bibiana Fernandez is still around, right? Um, so has he extended his contract? I've not heard anything, but he's still around, and yeah, they're inviting the Tajik team to Goa, closed our matches, both of them, um, and we'll play it in the afternoon at the Nehru Stadium in Fatorda. So therefore, very interesting to see. Um, but again, um, without knowing if Viviano has extended his contract, very, very good news for Indian football, I would say. I saw the press conference video on Kirna channel. Have to accept it was much better organized than the previous ones. Well, yeah, look better. Totally agree. Dada, why the I League 2 clubs are silent? Where is their roadmap? If top two leagues are getting remodeled, they should also. Um, if I am right, and Shivam says it, no, had someone that I League 2, 3 were merged. For this season, supposedly they're making a big I League 2, right? Or Indian Football League 2, or whatever they're going to call it, right? So therefore, I don't know what's going to happen. But so therefore, we'll have to wait and see what is the format. I know that certain teams have already said that they prefer not playing at all. So that's something that I've heard from certain teams in I League 2. And so we'll have to wait and see what the decisions of these respective clubs are, what league format is proposed, how do they want to take it forward. A lot of discussions, I guess, going on. Today's press conference were different, somewhat different. There was a bit of professionalism which they usually lack. Yeah, well, look better, Shivam. Yeah, look better. The question is the outcome. And the outcome is where we'll have to figure out a little bit more, because if I see an AIFF press release and then I see a press conference, I am not sure. And yeah, uh, very interesting to see what happens. Do you see AIFF even losing the control of one affirmative vote in ISL as time goes on? Shivam, the question is, what happens in the summer? How is the structure and model of the Indian Super League changed, switched, right? How do it how do we um, how do we see that 20-year contract? To me, that is also a question which I think nobody is actually discussing at this moment. Um, and are the clubs gonna accept it? So for me, you know, a lot of questions are still there. A lot of things are unanswered, but you know, it looks a lot less messier around the I League than it has been in the ISL, because I think the I League clubs also have over the years experienced their issues with the AIFF and have raised their voice on a number of fronts. So I think that um, level, the affirmative vote, which was there in the ISL governing council, seemed to have not been there in the I League discussion. So therefore, that's very interesting to see. Hi Kumar, hello Raj, good evening as well. Welcome guys. So therefore, this is the interesting part of how have you micro managed the ISL and the conversations, and how have you done it with the I League? Because as said, the I League clubs are used to much more difficult conversations with the All India Football Federations, much more difficult circumstances around their league, and this is that's it. Is there any copyright issue with I League name? I mean, ISL name is similar to International Swimming League. Utsav, if there was an issue, then the league has been running for 18 years, right? For example, in Indonesia, the league is called Super League, and it is organized by um, um, the I League, right? And I think there have been other I Leagues around the world. So I don't know. And ISL, again, ISL could be 10,000 things what ISL could theoretically mean. So if you've got this as a as your talking point, no. Again, for me, again, it seems to be like a re-christening of things. It's like, baby leagues became the blue cubs and all that kind of stuff. This AFF has always been very friendly of renaming things, and I don't, again, my question would have rather been is how do you integrate the I League and the ISL into one thing? So then it, to me, doesn't make sense to rename it now as Indian Football League, as the I League, and keep the ISL. Then as I said earlier by Akash, who said, where did Akash say? Yeah, just name ISL, ISL 2, ISL 3, ISL 4, Indian Football League 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, right? So therefore, that's something that needs to be looked at, in my opinion. What are your options? What can you do? What should you do? How should you do it? And therefore, yeah, that's a question that I have for the FF, which I don't have an answer for. I was watching Injury Time podcast with Sandeep Menon, Arka, and Pradyum Reddy. Pradyum Reddy said he was consulted by club owners and football directors to scout for foreign player in Argentina. Okay, Kumar. Yeah, let me see what the rest that you're trying to say on that. Why would they? Why would they not ask him to scout, or what is the point here? Um, right. So to me, very clearly, and in second division, after scouting included, they recruited a Spanish coach. He said they were not up to the Spanish quality They brought what coach asked, Spanish player team did not perform. Okay. Yeah. Uh, I didn't listen to it, so I don't know what the point is, Kumar. What Pradyum Reddy's point was, so therefore I can't comment it. Looks like AFF got ISL social media back. Raj, yes, they got not back, they got it. Right. I spoke to it early on that they now have, which is interesting because the logos are still the same. The logos are still the old ones in on Twitter or on X. But it has the Indian Super League without a star and Reliance written on it, and that of the ISL trophy on in a mountain, on a mountain, yeah, and starts February 14th, so therefore that's there. So therefore, yeah, that's a fact, and we'll have to wait and see what happens again. Now we move into the sort of active phase of the season. Again, the grounds issue are still there. And of course, we've seen now Chennai today, Chennai FC today signing Alberto Noguera, meaning that, for example, certain teams who have been pondering about the idea of not actually signing foreign players could be now signing foreign players to try and bolster their lineup. So that's an interesting development, I would say. Yeah, and therefore that will be interesting to see. Um, um, so therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. To me, it's going to be very interesting um, where we're heading to, and a lot of questions arise out of the current situation. Why they renamed their league? Augusto, good question. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Uh, um, to me, it makes no sense. I would have, like many things, I would have tried to maybe, if I'm integrating the ISL into my pyramid in the sense of naming, in my naming clutcher, then yeah. So let's see. How suddenly relegation came into picture. Previous seasons, after a lot of here and there, here relegation did not occur, and now when relegation should not be done, it's going to happen. Raj, let's not get into um, the logic of these things. Sorry, I don't see a logic in this. And To me, the question now is what makes sense, how does it make sense, what can be done, what should be done, how should it be done, where should it be done. I with some of the things I honestly don't know what to think or what to say, because it is so complex and complicated, that I would surely say that if you ask me, um, it some of the things don't make sense, right? So relegation for me makes no sense because you're having a shortened season, and again, at the moment it's still there, and we'll have to play with it. So cost cutting is abandoned, Rishav. With some teams it looks like, right? Again, we have learned over the last 3-4 months that the clubs are unable to jointly work together on this, right? On things. And if you if you look at what they said, what they wanted to do, um, if relegation, and the question of is relegation still there? That question hasn't been answered by the AFF. The AFF or the government have not still gone to the Supreme Court. So those things which are very, very basic, maybe in your and my head, and say, these things should happen this way or that way, it hasn't happened, right? So therefore, we are in a situation where we have to think and say, you know what, this is these things are not working out the way they should, and so therefore, some of them, I guess, are going to be spending more. Gone back maybe to their owners, the club management, and said, you know what, I need a few crores extra mm, to try and do. What do you think of FC Goa going into the season? Oh, Arush, if there is no change in strategy, FC Goa, um, looking at the team, looking at what they wanted to do, uh, they themselves said, you know, we will not bank on the foreigners. They've released most of their foreigners. It looks like Paul Moreno, Paul Moreno will be the only one remaining. That looks like uh, the the only person still to be there. And yeah, so therefore, um, I'm not sure where to put um, the FC Goa team, right? Without Borja, without Ika Guruchena, without Javi Severio, without David Timur. Also, I don't know if Dejan Drazic is someone who's been looking to leave. That would be the interesting question for me: is where do these teams stand with the foreigners they have or don't again? And yeah, I mean, Ishan Pandita is the replacement for Javi Severio and Ika Guruchena. Says a lot. I don't know if FC Goa can challenge really for the title this year. Imagine Mr. Goenka for saying playing in I League. I don't think so. Name changed of I League. What is new name? Indian Football League, IFL, is at the moment what is being proposed. I don't know if that is going to be, the name. Um, to me, it looks like a lot of entities also didn't bother too much about the name change. I think most of the teams in the I League just wanted to say, hey, listen, let's have a league. It seemed like that for certain people in the AIFF, it was more important to have a new name. So this is, yeah, wrong priorities, or whatever to call it. I don't know. I don't know where we stand on this, and therefore I'm saying it. Um, it's at the moment, yeah. So Indian Football League is what is the proposed name, and we'll see what happens. Few clubs who wanted to do some things right will now diverted to just first team. Yeah, Raj, that's the problem. So for me, um, fight for survival is I think the topic to mention, I guess, and the question now is what makes sense? How does it make sense? How does it work? How does it not work? Um, are there solutions? Yeah, it is. We are we've our biggest problem was and is at this moment in time that we're always stuck with the short termness of things, right? And therefore, even if there are people within the system, within these entities, within these clubs who want to do plan mid long term, you are forced to think only short term because the system doesn't allow you to think long term. If someone had said at the start of the ISL, let me invest into infrastructure, this, that, and everything, build something, rather than spending on my first team, it doesn't make sense because it is always, so again, Chennai up to a couple of days back, clearly to me was, hey, we're not focusing on uh, foreigners. We will play in whole Indian squad, and now suddenly, boom, the situation changes, right? Isn't Rasik also staying? Arush, as far as I know, he was looking at options in Europe. We'll have to wait and see if he does stay on or if he leaves. सर मेरे को लग रहा किसी ने काला जादू कर दिया अपने सीनियर मेंस नेशनल टीम में, क्योंकि हमारे वुमेन्स और अंडर के तो इंटरनेशनल मैचेस तो जीते हैं पर हमारा सीनियर्स मेंस नहीं. Lama, Nice idea. You know, uh, I don't. Again, let's not get into this Kala Jadoo or whatever. This speculation stuff. It is the way it is at the moment, and to me, the national team is not winning matches, and yeah, and there are reasons for it. That the others have won. There are also reasons to it, but you know, so let's keep it at that. Hi, so iLeague starting from February 21st. Also seems as the social media pages seem to be 100 by AF now. Yes, that's the news. Ochud, very correct that the AIFF is handling the social media pages of the Indian Super League on one side, and on the other side, we have the iLeague meeting was there in Delhi, and it was decided to try and kick off the iLeague on the 21st of Feb. Um, Heard that there are also certain ground issues with certain teams, so that'll be interesting to see how they sort it out. Will be also interesting to see if Gokulam Kerala and Kerala Blasters will be sharing a ground or not. That's going to be a question to me. If both the teams will be sharing that ground in or not, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens with the rest, right? So therefore, um, let's wait and see that there are there are still some questions, I guess, also in regard to I-League. If Khalid would still be in Jamshedpur FC, he would be clueless without foreigners. That's real test. No, Raj. Where is without foreigners? Jamshedpur FC has a full uh, set of foreigners. They've got good foreigners, right? So yeah, maybe they will go to Supreme Court after the season finishes and have relegation wave off. Yeah, Rishabh. It doesn't work that way. You know that I know that you have to, before the league starts, you have to inform the clubs of what is your rule, what is your regulation, and yeah, let's wait and see. If Chennai FC will sign foreign striker. Austin, it looks like that Chennai FC are in for a striker, for a midfielder. They've signed a midfielder in Noguera, and they a defender as well. So therefore, let's wait and see what they're gonna do. Supporting my club is not for the weak hearts. Just don't relegate, says Aditya. He's an Odisha FCF fan. Yes, let's see. After tomorrow's U17 game, we'll hype someone new, or maybe we will continue to hype Gangte, who to me again is worthy of it. But let's see. Tajikistan is a team which played the under 17 World Cup this year, so they're different thing, of course, in Indian conditions. My thing is, I still, again, Bibiano is there. Bibiano's names appears, and I've not seen a contract extension of Bibiano. And I know for a few days ago, certainly that Bibiano was talking to an ISL team to be an assistant coach, from my understanding. So let's see. What do you mean, Delgado to CFC? Aditya, again, Chennai seem to be now late, but they are in the market for signing foreigners, and therefore for me, Chennai, yeah, Delgado seems to be on the market. It seems to be Odisha FC is fine of allowing players to leave even on loan for the moment. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Diego Mauricio is being linked with every team who's looking for players. So let's see. Let's see what happens. My Mumbai friends want me to do Kala Jadoo and AIFF and Kalyan Chaube Bengali stereotype. Raj, yeah. I mean, it's so far that it's now even guys can do Kala Jadoo. That's news to me. I didn't know that was possible. I thought only women were being discussed in regard to the Kala Jadoo topic. But yeah, it's to some extent it's ridiculous, I feel. But again, it's the way it is at the moment, and we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's new on here. Nice listening to you. Thanks, Arush. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to our conversations on Indian and international football. Of course, tonight also the big night in the UEFA Champions League. 18 matches to decide who finishes in which position. And that's another interesting one. Last time AFF had a Bengali president, things went downhill. Is it? And there, Aditya, rubbish. Who was the last AIFF president? Who was a Bengali before Kalyan Chaubey? Simple question. Priyanand Das Munshi. And I have followed at least a few years of Priyoda's presidentship of the AIFF, and a lot of things happened, right? So therefore, um, don't write things for the sake of writing things, right? It is rubbish what you're writing. Sorry, and I'll call it out. Another, why YSL club should accept the proposal of AIFF when I'm a league club model which is favoring I League clubs, which is giving green signal to AIFF. Kumar, there are two options. Either you say no, right? If it favors the I League clubs, which I agree to you, because um, the problem here is that the ISL has come to the AIFF like an unwanted child, right? It's an unwanted child that you have inherited from someone, and you didn't even know that it existed, or you didn't want to know that it existed, and suddenly it's there. So therefore, for me, that's the reality of the ISL. The I League has always been the AIFF's baby, has been AIFF's baby, and they have to manage and macro and micro manage that baby, and that's the problem at the moment. Interesting to see what happens, because to me, the AIFF is the AIFF needs to. The AIFF has double standards when it comes to ISL and I League. That's clearly visible to me. But they also know how to deal with the I League clubs better, I guess, because they've been dealing with a lot of these entities for the last 8, 10, 15 years. So therefore, that's something of a reality as well. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see. But again, double standards, 100%. I agree with you on that point. If I die and I'll go to hell, I'll first search for Kalyan, then I'll hunt Rohan Sharma. Okay, that's Sir, I've seen that the Philippines national football team is getting better, but their fans are also like us, is that they play basketball much more instead of football. Lama, Philippines has gotten better over the last, 12, 13 years. I mean, they were one of the worst teams in the world, and then they started to get players of origin, and that has helped them substantially to get better. And yeah, you know, and yeah, but again, fans are critical about national teams, be it Indian football fans or be it fans from other countries. So that is a given fact, in my opinion, that is there, right? Indian football needs just to survive football in India. Austin, it is a very um, um, very valid point from your side, because Indian football's biggest struggles, in my opinion, at the moment is that how do you, on one side, keep it alive? How do you take it forward? And so therefore, for me, the big problem is, first keep it alive, let it survive, and then how you can grow it, right? So that's the challenge we see. So therefore, for me, we'll have to wait and see what happens, right? So we need a Northeast president like Baichung Bhute who truly cares about Indian football. Lama, I don't care really where the president comes from the All India Football Federation. It needs to be the right person. And my question is not any Indian or even Indian origin person who's the right person to be the AIFF president. To me, I'm fine. And with all due respect to Bhai to me is not the right president for the All India Football Federation. Does he care about Indian football? Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes he doesn't. But is he the right president for the AIFF? Sorry, no. Right? And I would say that into his face. I don't think Baichung is the right president. Bhai, you're not the right president. Right? And this is the problem that I say that you have as a fan, because you see Baichung Bhutia, the legend, the football legend. Not good enough. For me, that is not good enough as a president of the All India Football Federation. And Raj asks you a very valid question. My question would be, does he really care? And your answer, yes, he would care about the national team and Indian football. Lama, I could tell you things where you would then not say what you're saying. And that shows me, sorry, as being a fan is fine, but you do not know enough to be able to say that Baicham Bhutia could, should, needs to be the president of the AIFF. That is what I only can say. Says Live, how much ticket need to buy pass, monthly pass? Smith, nothing is confirmed. Broadcasting of both ISL and I League is not confirmed. What are you buying? Yeah. So nothing to buy. After seeing the proposal to I League clubs by FF, will that so-called 20 agreement will be signed by ISL clubs? Will the ISL clubs ask the same model for ISL? Kumar, I don't think the question about the ISL and the 20-year model arises. Right? To me, the question is, uh, and uh, and because my question, my simple question would be, how can you make this 20-year window work for a league where your key question is who's going to fund it? Is it either are the clubs going to fund it themselves, like at the moment, and by funding meaning that they're increasing their losses, right? Substantially increasing their losses because they're not getting something out of the central pool, uh, um, you know, and and if there are changes to the AFF in the summer, and so let's wait and see. I don't see the I League, the ISL club signing the document as it is on the table at the moment, right? Because we are handling one thing. That's what I'm thinking, saying. I've said this now multiple times over the last few days. Uh, you know, we need to sort out things in the short term, but we're forgetting the mid to long term, right? And the plan and the idea of the whole thing makes no sense. Have you seen table of Polish league? Yes, Pranjal, I've seen it. Insane. Again, it's very funny that a lot of people are talking about it, but it's been a talking point in Europe for weeks. And yeah, Legia Warsaw, the biggest Polish club at the bottom of the table, but only 11 points away from the top of the table. So yeah, anything is possible in the Polish league. I feel like ISL should have at least 20 clubs, and league from I1 to 3 should have like 30 or 40 clubs. Each will give more game time and development. What logic does that make? How will you have a league with 40 teams? I mean, a league with 40 teams, you won't be even playing against each other, right? I mean, home and away format, are you playing tournament, 30 teams, even a 20-team ISL at the moment? We are so far, and this is something, uh, 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 you know, uh, uh, we don't have the talent for a 20-team ISL. You guys come out with these, we need to be bigger leagues, this, that. No, game time. What game time and development? The quality will drop dramatically. We've seen that over the last few years, growing from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The standard of the ISL has gone down. Even the I League, whenever it's made bigger, uh, you know, uh, yeah, it's let's wait and see, but it doesn't make sense. Ranjit Bajaj one day will become Indian football president. Smith, if I've got anything in my power, not going to happen. And if that's your opinion, sorry, you know, my opinion, I'm fine. You don't, you know, does Ranjit also care about Indian football? No, he doesn't. Again, you're talking about all these people who supposedly care about Indian football. They don't care about Indian football. They care about themselves. Right? Right? It shows me, guys, that you are consuming information without knowing these people. right? You guys, with all due respect, if you say that these people should be AIFF president, you guys cannot be part of a conversation to me. Sorry. Because you're naming guys who are supposedly so great, so brilliant, whatever, blah, blah. They're doing so much. They've done nothing. They've done more harm than help to Indian football. But again, come work in football for 5 minutes and you'll know what is happening. A good footballer will also be a good answer is not necessary. With all due respect, look at IOAP Tuition or other veteran athletes. Raj, summary. The problem is, the problem is that people think they know. Someone who's been a player knows certain things from a player's perspective. Someone who's coached. Sorry, I had to just take a call from my mother. Um, yeah, so a good athlete, you know, uh, so maybe understands what the player's interests are. What is the interest of an owner? What is the interest of someone who um, has to run and manage it? So that's the thing. Is ISL really happening? Hannibal, at the moment, it looks like, right? Your topic of grounds and issues is there. So yeah, it makes no sense. Another Pradhan is saying that you will get good foreign players for a cheaper price when you have a scouting system in South America and Africa instead of accepting what agents are throwing. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, theoretically, but the cost of you maintaining a scouting network in those parts of the world has Pradyum put that into the mix of the calculation, that is a cost to you, that you have to have a network and not say, oh, you know what, I send someone there and then you scout, you look, and then you bring me the players. It doesn't work like that. Some of these guys think, again, even if they're coaches and all, they think it's relatively easy to find players. Yes, there are players, but who will come? Why would a player from the Argentinian second division, even if you offer him a lot of money, um, so that's it. What is the merger of I League 1, 2, 3? I League 1 stays I League 1, 2 and 3 supposedly merge. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. It is about just keeping the thing running and cutting the cost. He won Gothia Gara Cup now in Europe, not only. Again, Smith, we've spoken about this. So what? These are teams. Did he beat any academy team? Even if you look, just Google Mick Cup, who's all playing. In your every age group, you've got 2 or 3 big names, and then the rest are whatever. And you don't even know if the big names are playing with their listen, this is more of a holiday thing in Europe to play this competition, right? And he's not the coach. That's another thing. Check about his status first. Yeah. If Indian footballer kids are scoring against Norwegian and all the foreign clubs, and you don't see even one senior Indian footballer in Europe, should tell you the truth on the ongoing scam. Aditya, the simple thing is, who are they playing in these competitions? You're going with an Indian academy to play opposition, which are mostly grassroots academies, you know, and you're not playing academies. Are you playing, let's say, Norway, Bodo Glimt? Are you playing Molde, Viking Stavanger, whatever, right? Are you playing Ike Solna uh, in Sweden? You know, you're not. So that's the reality. Also, when the coach asked the player who played under him, and the player coaches, no, rather the player who suits system. Okay, come on. Also, they Arunda stop talking about Ranjit. People start talking good about him. Arunda, you need to call these out publicly. The only problem is the lawsuits. Well, I've called him out, right? You know, I've always said what I think. But why Ranjit Sadan is not coach, he's owner? Isn't that illegal? No, Raj, you can always in the match sheet you can put in either a team manager or even an owner. So that's the reality. Smith, I know more than you will ever know on Indian football, my friend. Right? So if you believe what you believe, please keep your beliefs. But you know, I know. And nobody's gonna be able to tell me or teach me that these things are the way they are. I know better than you will ever know. According to Ranjit, if a goalkeeper touches the ball with his hands outside the square, it's not a red card. Yeah, let's leave it. You know what? There is very less people in this world who cares about football. Who says that? Lama, who says that? There are more people um, in the world who care about football than anything else. So, what to say? Yeah, he's delayed the Anwar Ali matter. Yeah, we've seen, and again, fighting relegation, right? In the I League, you are for relegation. And this is another joke. You're wanting relegation in the ISL, but when your club is relegated, you want to stop relegation in the I League, and you're using the courts. You've misled the courts. The Supreme Court has been misled by these people. When is there going to be action against the people who've misled the Supreme Court, and even the judges and justices of the Supreme Court have done utter injustice to Indian football? When is action going to be taken against these people? Without knowledge and understanding, yeah, welcome. So would you tell where we can watch Monisha playing? No, I can't, Raj, because I don't know myself. Because at the moment, I don't know. Um, it is a question of if the club is going to make it available, and yeah, in some sort of form way for matches to be watched in India. That's going to be the test. So Real Madrid playing in the Cup, sir. Yeah, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico, whatever, blah, blah. And again, look at what kind of teams are. Again, a team wearing the shirt of Real Madrid doesn't mean you're paying Real Madrid, right? Look at Indian under 17s played Real Madrid. They played the C team of Real Madrid. It was a 3-3. Do you think if the Real Madrid under 17 A team played an Indian under 70 team, that match would end 3-3? If anyone believes that, even a psychologist can't help you. They're not giving game time to our idol Aladdin in Indonesia. Yeah, happens. Why is that Saddam is being racist to a brown skinned person? You guys are just obsessed with white skin, nothing else. Okay, I don't know why he's got that. He got big names doing paid video of them playing in makeup. It's just embarrassing to. Yeah, but again, you've just seen in the chat that people are believing it. That all this, all these things are true, and oh, again, do the work, guys, do the work. People do more PR than the real work in Indian football. That's why Indian football is failing every day, every single day. It hurts. There are people who care. To say that there are not people who care about Indian football would be wrong. But the issue here is that we are in a situation, yeah, which is very complex. Sir Shanhundra coming or not? No, he's not. Lama, he signed in the US. Shan is not coming to India. I used to bleed red, but now I bleed purple thanks to that club called Uzrasi. I wish I could hate and forget this club, but it keeps knocking my back. Should never went to Kalinga. Aditya, you're just being a football fan. Take it up your chin. Considering the scams in the lower leagues, like choosing player via connections who can't even play football, I think there is no career for the youngsters in Indian football. Who says that, Wiz? Can you prove that everywhere these scams are going on? Yes, that to say that there are no scams would be wrong. But to say that, oh, Oloa, again, these generalizations don't work. If you are a good young player, if you are really good, someone or the other will see your talent and give you a chance. But then you have to prove yourself. To always say, you know, so that's the thing. No one is going to come to play in unpredictable situation. Yeah, Hannibal, that's the first one. And the second one is look at the signings that are being made at the moment. Either there are players who are going to come back to India because they've played in India, or we're going to see players who have, either struggled somewhere or have not played for a certain period of time, right? Free agents since last summer. So that's going to be the reality. The quality of foreigners to come is going to drop, you know? You should check the comment section of the Insta post where it was shown Manisha was signed. So much racism, colorism. Who gave the rights to these people to say so? Again, Aditya, why are you bothering? Why again? You guys bother about what other people think here, left, right, and say it doesn't help, right? The world again. Why do you have to go to Peru to talk about racism? Talk about what happens in India to people, let's say from the Northeast, right? It is sad. The world is rotten on that front. We have a lot of problems. You know, you know. Also talk with someone from Techno Academy. He says never indulge in heavy age fraud, but due to connections of Ranjit, no one questions him. Okay, that there. So you will see later Ranjit will change for Indian football. Wait and see, don't you? Ellen Smith, I know him long enough. Don't tell me what I need to do or not to do. No, these people will never change. Don't tell me. You don't know. If you want to learn, listen to me. If you want to believe what you believe it. But don't tell. You're wasting our time. By saying what you're saying, you're wasting our time. You know. So that's the thing. Right? I hit Carabas's son, the player named Kevin Yokio scored 2-0. Yeah. But again, you never know, right? That player might be the guy, but he's a winger. He's not a striker. Doesn't matter, bro. Don't think much about racism. Racists doing okay. It was less racist than a random post on Twitter, to be honest. It was peanuts, ignore them. That's the point, Hannibal, right? We're talking about this racism and this and that and everything. We need to focus on the things that need to be looked at. We're not looking at the problems that are there, left, right, and center. There are issues, left, right, and center, right? And if you think, South America, because it's so far away, for us, let's say in Europe, but even further away for you guys in India. You don't know how it is. You know which is the most racist, supposed to be most racist country of them all? Argentina. So, yeah. So that's the point. Do you know, right? Congratulations, continue to do that. Let's forget him. I'm not going to take any more comments anymore. Tell me what happened in I-League, like changing the name and stuff, etc. Wiz, they just decided, let's rename the league. That's the decision being taken, you know, and um, they've decided to have a first leg home and away, meaning all teams play each other once, and then you have a top six, home and away, and then the bottom five play each other once. I don't understand why you're getting your top teams to play 10 matches and the others to play four, you know. So, yeah. And give me your honest opinion. Looking at the transfers and the squad of Odisha, do you think I should visit Kalinga Stadium and watch my team getting slaughtered? Aditya, more than ever before, even if you think your team is going to get slaughtered, if you are a genuine football fan, and I said this in a podcast to someone um, yesterday, if you're a genuine football fan, you will support your team even more. You know, um, when they are in crisis. Odisha FC need you as a fan more than ever before. So my humble opinion to you would be, my honest opinion to you would be, go and support them. Even if they lose 4-5-6-0, you need to be there. You need to support them. That is the duty of a fan, you know? So, so that's the reality. Okay. I will go to okay. I think it was proposed, will they change? Ways, according to me, it's going to be put in front of the exco. And that to me means that is taken, you know? So that's the thing. So for me, it makes no sense. Um, so therefore, for me, so, right? And it's a difficult one. Um, Again, my logic is not there to understand, say, listen, guys, how can you change it to Indian Football League? Why don't you wait and put all of it together? You know, so yeah. So it is the way it is. Let's stop this whole conversation of Ranjit Bajaj again. He said a lot of things. If you don't want to hear it, don't want to believe it, again, you don't even have to watch this, right? If you want the truth on Indian football, if you really care about Indian football, these are the names that I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear the name of Kalyan Chaubey, right? I don't want to hear the name of Ranjit Bajaj. I don't want to hear even, you know, because these people are harming Indian football. They've harmed Indian football and they're harming Indian football. If you want to live in that PR world, oh, everything, blah, blah, blah. So it makes no sense, right? I saw the fixtures of ISL. It's way too packed. Players will get a lot injured. Let's wait and see, you know. And yeah, so that's the problem. It's going to be a problem. I don't know how fit the players are. Again, training in the gym or maybe spending a little bit of time here in the field. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And yeah, I hope not. But again, it's the season needs to be played, and it's difficult. But again, so that's the thing, right? Ah, God, guys. And what Aditya is saying, or Apathy 117, he said, right? So Lama, he said that. So, you know, what do you think? Which changes should AFF and Infobot should have so that we improve our ranking? Where's our problem about ranking and other things is going to be now the question. Um, our problem is the system of club football. Our ranking is a problem because we have to also look what is coming through from the lower tiers of our football game, right? So therefore, for me, um, right, very difficult. We need a change in national team coach. That's not going to happen today or tomorrow. I know that as well. So these are things that you need. These are the things that need to happen for us to change. So yeah, these are the realities. So that's the problem. Our problems are our system, the limited player pool, And at the moment, also our national team coach in Khalid. We need changes. We need dramatic changes. Otherwise, things will not move in the right direction. And that's that's the point. So therefore, we are in a difficult situation, and let's see where we head. 1 hour and 16 minutes as I talk to you on this live on this Wednesday, the 28th. And 11 likes so far. Guys, I think we can do better. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, 3724 is the number. And watch the short videos. I did something on Interkashi earlier today. Yesterday, I did something on the, I League tentatives or ISL tentative schedule. Before that, some of the transfers of Kerala Blasters, other things. Do support the channel, and and let's see where we go. I remember the golden era when we were at 96 ranking in FIFA. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. And so therefore, um, but again, were we really 96th rank? And that's the other thing, right? That how we work the rankings in our favor. But yeah, that's a problem. Let's see. Our football is so slow. I feel way too sleepy. I know it's bad. It's the reality. There's no management, no endurance in our players. I am so tired of this. Ways I don't think, again, you know what? Watch football in Europe live, and then you think of a lot of things and think about how good or how bad it is. Yeah, it is sometimes, right? But you have exciting games, and again, it's my favorite example at the moment. Uh, has always been a few weeks ago watching Arsenal vs Liverpool, right? So let's see. Almost forgot that Khalid is still our coach. Yes, Khalid is still the coach, and yeah, he's going to be at least in March. AIFF reported Indian senior women's national team with some. Okay, AIFF reported Indian senior women's national team will play some European clubs before traveling on 10th to Australia. Spartak Moscow, Hertha BSC Berlin, Shevta, which is Red Star Belgrade, Perm from Russia, and CM Siuk from Romania. Okay. Okay. So, okay, I don't know where you got it from. Interesting. Just send it to me in Twitter. I would be interested to see. Believe in Khalid, he will do something. There is no hope when there is. God, I'm past that. I watch Premier League, La Liga, as well as Bundesliga fast in plays. There's attacks also fast. And when I see my leagues of like ISL, I League, it's boring. It's my personal opinion, but I do think people watch. More of Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, and ISL ways, and that is where if I remember numbers that I saw 2 years ago, actually it's not. Uh, uh, you know. I don't think the numbers really add up. I don't think the numbers for the Premier League or La Liga or Bundesliga are really that great. Why? Uh, you know, and for me, it uh, makes it difficult to talk about it because we see a lot of stuff on social media, a lot of podcasts, a lot of conversations about the Premier League, of La Liga, about Bundesliga, and you think, oh, you know what is so big, or even Champions League, right? And a lot of people are watching it. But if you add up the numbers of where you're watching and other things, I think the numbers for Indian football aren't that bad. And again, I always say, yeah, that's the reality. Do you think Arsene Wenger offside rule is better than present one? Your view? They see Arsenal fan from an attacking player standpoint, it makes sense if you would implement that rule, right? From an attacker's point of view, yeah, it makes more than just sense. And but from a defender's point of view, it's very difficult. And Arsene Wenger is proposing it to try and get more goals to be scored. You know, and it will be interesting to see what there are a lot of different kind of proposals on the table in regard to changing. And yeah, you know, let's see. Now his fans are asking him to be made national team head coach. Oh God save us. Yeah, someone who doesn't even have a basic coaching license. Yeah. So yeah, again, forget the dreams. Again, La La Land is live at the moment in the chat. Right, 1 hour, 21 minutes plus on this live. Once more, reminder, if you haven't liked, share, and subscribe, Arun Foot here on YouTube, and visit my other social medias. We're arunfoot.com. 11 likes only so far, guys. I think we can do better than that. And we still stand at 3,724 people who have subscribed to this channel. And thanks a lot for all of you. And again, watch the short videos. And yeah, that's you know, and so therefore, you know, so therefore that's the situation. I League, ISL, and that's interesting. I remember I was watching Premier League match between Tottenham and United on Disney Hotstar while I was in my home and vacation, barely 50K live viewership. I can't. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's my point. The viewership of the Premier League or La Liga, Bundesliga, again, some of the leagues are not even anymore on linear television. Is not as high as been sold. Right? The Premier League for once used to be sold at $50 million per season. That has come down to 1.5. Right? That means that there is not a huge demand for it. Right? The streaming is going to be more important. Social media is more, and those are real numbers, and the numbers of the ISL were actually good. And again, but over the last 2 years, what has happened in the Indian Super League has forced the whole system to no, not work anymore. So yeah, that's that's a sad reality, and I don't know how when things will change for the better, but we are where we are. So yeah, that's a thing, and that's a reality, right? So therefore, it is where it is, and again, Indian football has its fans, um, and it's right. More people watch Insta reels and podcasts than live European football in India. Yeah, it's true. That is very, very true. And I've realized. I mean, I last month when I visited Rock Baba, and we did our podcast, and the evening I was watching. I flew to Mumbai, and so that's the thing. So you know, so therefore, for me, um, I watched this watch along idea of a European Champions League match, which is very interesting. It's very interesting to watch, and therefore, yeah, very, very simple to see how it's done, because that not all conversations during a match are actually conversations of a live match. When I do a watch along, I try and focus on the game. So therefore, younger folks, different approach, very interesting to see. ISL at over 250 million Indian TV viewers. BARC data 2019 outpaced the EPL in India, which had only 18 million Indian viewers. You are right. I just searched. Yeah, it was substantially, or not forget. I know even the numbers for the Bundesliga, right? And the Bundesliga numbers are not too good. La Liga numbers are not too good. So therefore, the reality is there is this perception, and this is interesting, right? There is this perception that European club football or even the World Cup is a different thing, but European club football or the Champions League are much, much bigger than Indian football. It actually isn't. But because the Indian football fan might not be having the time to listen to us, to discuss with us. Again, I'm speaking in English, but even the others are speaking in the things, right? Um, you know, um, it is it is the reality. And just to answer that, I know those people, they just want to be cool. As answer to Akash Honeyball, yeah, very right, very right. And but still, TV is more viewed in India. Is it really, Raj? Because for the first time, if you look at the Premier League rights, Jio Hotstar has paid more than the linear broadcaster. So there is India is going to be one of the first markets in the world where there is a substantial shift from linear television to broadcast. Right? What's your prediction about today's Champions League games? Oh, Ways. Let's go through the games. 1 second. Let me figure out who is playing whom. Some interesting ones, because there are two, three things that one needs to talk about. And let me see, where are the fixtures of the Champions League and the league table. So, first match day of this kind this season, all matches at the same time, all 18 matches. And you have Ajax versus Olympiacos, Arsenal versus Kairat. So that means Arsenal need 1 point to ensure a top place finish. Athletic Bilbao against Sporting Club de Portugal, Atletico Madrid versus Bodo Glimt, Barcelona versus FC Copenhagen, Bayer Leverkusen against FC Villarreal, Benfica Lisboa against Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund versus Inter Milan, Club Rouge against Olympique de Marseille, Eintracht Frankfurt against Tottenham Hotspur, FC Liverpool against FK Karabakh, Manchester City against Galatasaray Istanbul, AS Monaco against Juventus, Napoli versus Chelsea FC, PSV Eindhoven against Bayern Munich, FK Paphos against Slavia Prague, Paris Saint-Germain versus Newcastle United, and Union Saint-Gilloise against Atalanta Bergamo. Those are all the 18 matches. And looking at the table, we spoke about it. Arsenal top, 21. Bayern second with 18. Arsenal have a goal difference of plus 18, Bayern plus 13. So either Arsenal lose and Bayern have to score a lot of goals in Eindhoven to win, to top, theoretically, or, Arsenal just need a point. Real Madrid, Liverpool looks safe with 15 points, but if they by any chance lose, because there is that bulk of teams, you know, Tottenham is 14. Again, surprising looking at the Premier League form. And then you've got that bulk of teams who have 13. Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle United, Chelsea, FC Barcelona, Sporting, Man City, Atletico Madrid, even Atalanta Bergamo. So from 6th to 13, you've got all these teams on 13 points. And so all of these teams could sneak in. But then you have Inter, Juventus on 12, Borussia Dortmund on 11. So Borussia. Sorry, just lost you there. Um, so there are a lot of combinations and permutations in the Champions League tonight. Playing at the top, yeah, will be interesting to see. Good evening, Blue. I said what was the numbers? Hannibal, it will be lower. And, so for me, that's very, very clear. And even if it's 100 million plus, it's actually quite a good number. You're staying live for the match examples? No ways, I'm not. I'm going to end the live most probably in a half an hour or a little longer. But I'm not doing live because I want to watch them myself and enjoy them. If only UCL had good timings. Again, you're talking from an Indian football fan perspective. Other people will say, it's fine because they're in other parts of the world. Yeah, so therefore, that's always a challenge as well. Jindal saved Hyderabad FC. Huge respect for them. Timing is important, knowing all of the concerns they invested. I don't agree to that, Raj, because I don't think they could have known, or no, let's put this way. I don't think that they would have been aware. Um, they're aware of where you are, um, you know, um, of what was to come. And yeah, last question for me: what would be the roadmap for Indian player to play in Europe? Ways play good in India first and be better than the rest. At the moment, I don't see anyone who's good enough. Let's see. Rate Conte in Napoli, bro. Ellis, he's done well. I mean, he's brought Napoli up again. Let's see where it go. Ne aega band karo ye situation. Why band karo? Okay. Bye. Yeah, that's why. Just realized we're in the World Cup year. Yeah. Yes, Hannibal, we are. Renal says, hi Renal. I think people boast about European leagues is to be seen as a cool person. There are a lot of YouTubers who follow European football and brag about this, that, but most of them are football related. Ooh, that's a hard one. Exactly, want to be cool guys. Renal, the problem is, yes. Um, so to me, it's an interesting point you're making, and it's a very valid point in my opinion, because at the end of the day, uh, it sounds better, it looks better, and yeah, I would agree with you on that point. I actually would totally agree with you on that point. But why am I not able to click? Ah. Ways has answered Anonymous says in 2023, the ISL had total TV reach of 81 million viewers in India, and 2021 the ISL attracted 157.2 million unique viewers. Um, okay, so you're saying that in 24, the viewers nearly doubled from 23. Okay, that would surprise me because in 23, we still had certain sponsors which were not there in 2024. But again, unique viewers. So I don't know what the interesting part with these, I sometimes don't get through these calculations. So very difficult. When we'll get to know if the stadiums are confirmed or not. Blue, some of them will be a last second thing. I mean, look at what Chennai is at the moment. Chennai is going to host an A.R. Rahman concert on the 14th of Feb. And, and, but they have the first match only on the 13th of March. So they have time on their side. The question now is, will it work or will it not work? You know? But Mumbai is trying, Mumbai City is trying. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Dada, is Neeraj Chopra improved javelin throw culture in India? Anyway, for that, I don't know enough. I mean, you have javelin throwers but has it exponentially grown? I wouldn't know. So, his throws are not even broadcast on TV. Yeah. I gave trials for a super division club in Maharashtra. Coach said you are good at like passing, shooting, you tackling, but since my height is 5'7", coach told me to improve in physicality. Like to build some muscles and stamina. See, ways, if you are good, you know, I would love to ask this coach what he would say to a Lionel Messi, right? Who is 5'6", 5'7". Would this coach take him or would he not take him? Right? That's the question. Exactly. India knew Gen kids takes European football as fashion culture, baggy jeans, football shirt. Yeah. I mean, if you've seen also, be it an Adidas, be it a Puma, be it a Nike, they've all gone into the lifestyle section, right? They do lifestyle shirts. Look at the pink collection of PSG with, and let's see. So tornado viewership increased because of geo merger. So therefore, that is not pure linear. So until 23, it was a pure linear television. Now it's got geo, and those geo numbers are gonna, yeah, yeah, okay, makes sense. Hotstar numbers are looking like a gimmick, but that's my problem. So I would love to have had only television figures, linear television, because otherwise it becomes a mess. I mean, anyways, a YouTuber giving GAN to football coaches is like a fifth standard giving speech on quantum mechanics to a university professor. Yeah, but again, we have people who are saying that people who are not even coaches should be national team coach. I mean, this is the level of understanding of people. Blue. I mean, again, I think we have on this channel the most constructive conversations in Indian football. But again, the rest of it is, I mean, where do we stand today, right? So therefore, for me, that's a problem, right? So therefore, um, yeah, it's something which I find very difficult, and um it is also tiring these days, right? When people are trying to explain to you, oh, this thing, that thing, whatever thing. And it's like, guys, makes no sense. Sorry. Um, some YouTubers are good, others are like I said. Yeah, I mean, I for example realized when I met Drogba socially outside of the podcast, it was a joy. Um, yes. So for me, um, you know, really impressed with the guy. So therefore, there are these characters, and yeah. So I'm managing my work and football at the age of 20. I just hope it works. Ways there are two things to remember. Focus. Your first focus should be on your work, right? Because the rest of your life depends on it. Football. If it's a side gig, a side hustle, and you're enjoying it, you're having fun. Uh, um, you know, try and take time, play it, enjoy it, and if you get a chance to play maybe at a high level, then take it, right? But don't, because if you're 23, I have to be hard to you. Maybe you've missed the bus. So that's the reality. After Neeraj Chopra, there's no one, to be honest. All the other throwers are inconsistent, less than 85-meter throwers. Okay. Mumbai City 22-23 away jersey mocks every jersey made in this world ever. No, Hannibal. I'll be honest. Last season's away jersey is my biggest favorite. Right? If you ask me about jerseys, right? Till day, I've seen only one person to watch ISL on TV after 2017 season. Okay. Uh. Okay. 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 Yeah. Um. Yeah. Ranjit winning World Cup, sir, from Chor Bazaar of Delhi. Oh, blew a hard one, huh? I don't think even if a lot of Indians watches Premier League, Bundesliga, even La Liga, until and unless our national team plays a World Cup or even a decent level, Indians won't respect it in football world. Renal, you know what? Football world and respect is a very tricky thing, right? If you're waiting for the world to respect us for football, even if we play a World Cup, people might not respect us, right? Because the biggies in the football world are so arrogant of themselves that they, even despite beating Germany and Spain in the last World Cup, do people seriously take Japan seriously in Europe? Some of the players, but do they seriously take Japanese football? The way that, for example, people speak about the MLS in the US, it is not taken that seriously, you know. So that's the that's the reality of things. Yeah, no, well, what can I do? Responsibility comes first. I do play to enjoy and have fun, though. Yeah, that is exactly what football should be. If you're not a professional, you are a fun footballer. You should enjoy it and yeah, and play football for the fun of it. What language does German courts and judicial system use? German, Hannibal. We're in Germany. Things are done in German. I think people will only respect if we, our Indian players, dominate the European leagues. Even on not then. Do you think that Do you think the Europeans have respect for Egypt and Egyptian football? They have. Sorry, seems to have a connection issue here. Um, my point was, does Europe have respect for Egypt as a footballing nation, or South America, or even Africa? Um, I have my doubts, but they have respect for Mohamed Salah, you know, and so that's the reality of things, and yeah, it's not that easy. Sorry. Why is it not showing? One second. There seems to be a problem with the program. There it is. If I'm on sideline and I'm a pathetic coach, two, three cameras constantly showing me, and then some people making paid reels and hype, then I'd create some messiah image on people's mind. Like this, some messiahs never. Yeah, but don't waste your time, Raj. Let's focus on the things that are good and we can influence. But still, I will try for professional contracts. I mean, I love to be competitive, lol. Yeah, but you know what? Ways you will most probably tell me that a professional contract will be if you play in the Mumbai League, right? Which, according to my understanding, and I've said this for years, even though if you get paid, um, it is it's not a pro league for me. It's not a pro contract for me, right? Play at the highest level you can, and if you make it, even better, right? Sorry. Now how can a kid who may be 18 plus but doesn't have the mechanical medication comes become a pro in India? Has India have players who have gone without academic education? In examples? Um, there surely will be. Um, I'm sure there are still players who have not gone through an academy system and have made it. I mean, you've got me on the spot. Can I tell you names at the moment? Mm, the most interesting one most probably would be Sal Abdul Samad, of course, born in the UAE. He's come through the soccer school system over there, and yeah, it's there's that. I've noticed the amount of racism online is not the representative of what normal people thinks. Not all the people are online making racist remarks. Yeah, yeah. It's amplified. No, it's wanted. It is today. You want to go viral and you want to hype up things, and yeah, go for lower league clubs. They have open category, build your CV, have good relation with coaches, and you will go up, says Ways. I do play in PDFA like the Pune division, super division. Okay, that's not bad. That's the top division in Pune. And I don't even have an academic education. I learned everything from YouTube and myself. Not bad. Hi, ha, it's not for me. I'm just asking to know. Yeah, Renal, I asked counter question material about Bajaj, Nageshwar Rao, Rahul Mehra, and all. Some sensible 20 people liked my comment, including, I guess, new signed Indian player's wife. Sorry, happening again and again today with the connection. Um, Sorry. Um, yeah, Raj, again, as you say, you've said it, some others have said it as well. Very, very, very important to raise these questions and be the nagging guys who are saying, ask questions. Again, people don't like questions being asked in today's world, right? Which we have been taught and brought up in Germany, and by saying, we need to have to ask the right questions. But hey, it's not one. Sorry with those problems. For me, um, ask questions, and very important. Good that I've blocked massage risk. Nice. Blue. I will try to move to Mumbai Super Division. My job changes to Mumbai location. Okay, well, try your luck. Always, all best wishes. And Renner says, by ways, just see the life story of Fabio Moreno fell. He gone from sixth division to first division in German system where every division is filled with super talented players. If you're really special, you easily move into high levels as the talent pool here is so small. Yeah, that's Renner, you raise a very important point. Um, Fabian Moreno fell. You've got other players who move from the fourth tier to the top tier in a short span of time. So these are things which are happening, right? So yeah, aiming to crack my way into the football industry as a scout performance analyst, spent sometimes working under Marcus Sir over the summer. Hopefully, it works out. Arush, all the best, because performance analyst I think is more likely than a scout, because a scout in an Indian system is, how will you be integrated, how will be utilized, because that's always a question which I have to people. um and it's a challenge to some extent. And yeah, but I think performance analyst within a team, within a club, within even the national team, those are more interesting. um that's a reality. Sorry. Some players, I guess, know these people's real image but can't say anything because of pressure and contracts. At last, they have to play here. Yeah, it's that's also reality, right? A lot of players. Again, why we were discussing this when the video came out from the players, right? Sorry for that. I don't know why this is happening and again. Why at the end of the day did the video at the end of the day feature a Sunil? Sorry, for whatever reason, uh, having problems with the connection today. Yeah, again, for players, difficult, and that's why I said, also the critical video that has come out, or not critical video, the big video which came out earlier this year in regard to players asking for the support had all the key big Indian players in it. It didn't have unknown players in it or smaller players in it, because first of all, if a Sunil is there, they will listen, and secondly, it's important, no? Yeah, as we move to higher level, remember from Fel Lobeda, I don't have Jahu and Fall, by the way. Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting fact for the first time. Hope so, but managing work and football is way too hard to a 9 to 5 job and playing and all. It overworks the body, but still, I will try. Yeah, um, that's engineering your time, you know. So let's see. Junior Messias made it from Serie B to Serie A by 27, but you have to start somewhere, but don't compare your story with others. Write your own story. Very well said. I remember you you used to say maybe 12 teams in a ISL due to limited talent. Well, I just saw Swiss League also has only 12 teams. Similar problems. They were different context. Tushar, Switzerland has 12, Scotland has 12 because these are small countries, right? And therefore, yes, there is the issue of, do you actually have in the Swiss system enough teams to play? For example, FC Vaduz from neighboring Liechtenstein plays in the Swiss system, has played in the top tier, is now in the second tier. But, because these countries are small. But for us, it is a question of our pool. And with the Swiss has the talent. But the best Swiss players play abroad. They play in Germany, they play in France, they play in England, they play in Spain, in Italy. So therefore, that's a different thing than what we are used to. Why is it? Sorry, seems to be a bug in the system, yeah. Okay, I will read it because I can't press on it. I don't know why. Seems to be a problem here. Sorry, back end problems. Dada Fabio Moreno's Feld's story will be remembered in German history for sure. Moving from 6th-tier team to division was just one. He was a special player. I have high hopes on him. Again, it might be also he's moved up so fast he might even move down the divisions in the future. You never know. So, it's a great story, and you've got other, players who are moving up from the 4th tier to the top and all. There's a Hansa Rostock player in the 3rd tier who's been sought after by Glasgow Rangers. There are different things, different topics. Are you happy with the matches the women teams are getting? No. Pranjal, I would have preferred our team to get a number of international games. If you ask me, that would have been my personal preference. Again, that we are getting matches is good, but no, I'm not happy. Because I think a different pathway was said that the AIFF would take, and that has not happened. Built contacts through my journalism internship, spoke to some of the guys working for FC Goa, Bangalore, CNE national team. I don't have the technical background for performance analyst, though. You have to learn it. Arush, there's this saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and therefore you have to work hard. Um, a lot of analysts have come through the system and have made it possible, and therefore, yeah, you have to. I mean, I always say your best example with regard to analyst is Sujay Sharma, who's now head of football at Mumbai City. Sujay joined us, um, joined me at IndianFootball.com, worked for us for a certain period of time. I introduced him to Derek Pereira, and he became the first analyst for um, Mahindra United. So therefore, for me, um, you know, um, it can be, it can be, you can still make it. Renal answers ways as saying, bro, there's a story of a Brazilian footballer who has gone from being a bricklayer to playing and scoring and winning Copa Libertadores, so you still have high hopes, work your way up. Yeah, they always are. Surprisingly, Lobera didn't demand boomers from Mr. Goenka. Raj, it just seems interesting that so far Mohnbagan has not signed anyone. And I would have expected, there were, again, those rumors, those conversations that XYZ player would be leaving them and there would be other players coming in. Nothing has happened at Mohnbagan. It's just calm and quiet, you know? So therefore, it's yeah, at the moment, no conversations. Dada, from what I've seen, India has largely improved the trials. Seen a lot of football trials, schools and academies here now. A lot. When I was in school, there wasn't much setup like this. It's up to the kids to make the full use of the opportunity. Daniel, has the you theoretic again? This is an interesting one. In theory, you have much more, much better qualities and opportunities. But at the end of the day, are you getting better opportunities because the system is also now much bigger? So your pool, I go back to my examples of about 20 years ago when we were talking about the Tata Football Academy. The Tata Football Academy used to have um, 25 boys coming out of the system every 2 years, right? Our, our pool was limited in that way. Now, let's say you've got a few hundred, a few thousand kids coming through the system, but is that quality there? Are you will you be seen at the right time in the right place? So there are a lot of these questions. And yes, theoretically, there are more opportunities, but are you going also to the right place? By saying that you have an opportunity, um, you have an opportunity, but are you going to the right academy, to the right training center, which helps you as well? Dada, a psychological trait of a player is much important. Sorry for that. For some reason or the other, StreamYard is not keeping my connection stable today for one reason or the other. That's a psychological trait of a player is much important as its technical level. Not everyone will have a good childhood. There will be players with broken childhoods. So how can we support them? I would have thought. I might be wrong, but to me, um, if you've come through a rougher, a tougher childhood, um, it it should toughen you up for the future, right? Again, that is option A. If you have, if you're different, it might, I don't know, inferiority complexes. There are different traits. Again, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not using the right words. But if I see kids, let's say in Africa, who've come through a much tougher system, a much tougher environment, then for them, um, that's a life school, right? To me, if you've come through a tougher system to get to somewhere, it could help. So therefore, there is no, again, as we say with the pathway, there is no one pathway. There are multiple pathways to get to the professional game and to the top. So therefore, these are things which I think So again, I don't know. Yeah, support them again. You should support everyone, right? But again, who's going to make it to? And this is where I say the coaches, the people who are around these teams, the scouts need to recognize. I always say, what I would always ask a scout is say, listen, can you tell me that this player can be a professional in the future? Because in India, very often you do scouting. Hey, I want to be successful at under 13 level. I want to be successful at under 15 level. I want to be successful at under 18 level. That's how they do scouting very often. They don't think if the players. That's why we are at under 17 level. Besides age fraud, another thing is that the late bloomers in the Indian system most probably lose out, right? So therefore, that's a very tricky and difficult thing. Do you think it's better to start small Nopang league systems and footballing hotspots rather than a pan-Indian youth leagues? Yes. Yes. I would rather have hundreds of Nopang leagues, even in non-football centers, but have those leagues and filter through the system rather than having, that's why this under 15, under 13, under 18, which we're having, I still don't understand why the AIFF has been unable to get us into a system where um, the state associations run a proper league, not run a proper league, and then the best teams from that local league move into maybe a regional system and then into a national system. Or in the bigger states, you move to the national system. This is something which I don't understand. Why you are not trying to have, let's say, a 12, a 14, a 16 team youth league. Very important, in my opinion. Yes, Dada, we need a different system, not just one system. Like I read that Nikhil Prabhu came from Mumbai school football scene, then work his way up the. Don't know whether it's. Yeah, that's true. Nikhil Prabhu is a good example, right? If you look at how he's worked his way up, um, there is no one pathway, right? No one pathway to coming from the lower leagues. Like Nikhil Prabhu played at Mumbai FC under 16s, right? Went actually for the Football School of India, joined Pune City, went then to Hyderabad, right? Didn't make it at Hyderabad, played on loan at Odisha in Goa, and then his breakthrough actually came in Punjab, right? His breakthrough came in Punjab. So at Punjab FC. And from there, he has gone on to become an Indian national team player. So there is no one solution. We need multiple solutions for our football. Dada, is RFDL football seems decent by their setup from zonal, regional to pan-India level? Would you cut into much more smaller level, like building a proper system Kerala than combining in other zones? Yes. Sorry, today is a mess with the connection. Um, so the point is here, especially in the south, I would have Kerala would I would divide into northern and central and sorry, Tamil Nadu maybe, but I would also look at um, Bangalore. Bangalore itself should be a zone, right? And these are somehow grouped together in some. So therefore, that is yes, I totally agree with you. Some so-called knowledgeable jokers doing live sessions agree with a legacy club with live going on viewers of T58. Raj, sadly, those are realities. Again, our thing is, I'm sad. It's sad to see, but these are realities. Again, yeah, and they're gossiping about things. Are their team? I mean, let them do that. Dada, yes, I read a lot of football related stuffs. Here in Japan, there's a different football system, J League Academy schools, football, J's League Academy, school football, college football, US football. Yeah, it's again, they have, you know, it's, it's, it's a different world, right? It's a different world. It's a different setup. They do their things in their own way, and it works. Korea has a certain system. I say the US, for example, has a totally different system, and we in Europe have a totally system. So therefore, there is no one system which is same. I'm still skeptical about this whole IFL limbo. Simon, this let them run. Again, I don't know why we are talking about an Indian Football League or why the AIFF had to raise it now. Why didn't you integrate the ISL into a system with the I League? I've always said, in my opinion, the most important thing would have been to build um, a one structure, maybe ISL one, ISL two, ISL three, ISL four. I can think Akash was the person who mentioned that at the time, right? So, right, that is something which is there. So, yeah, gossiping over Bino George. Raj, but this is sad, right? We are having here a very constructive discussion on Indian football. We had a lot of rubbish to talk about at the start today. But at this moment in time, we're talking, thanks to Daniel's questions, very interesting points. We're deep diving into the issues and problems of Indian football. And that is where we are stuck. Right? So, yeah, I would love to have more. And again, maybe, we'll have those conversations, but it's difficult. Um, and that's the way it is. So I don't know if and how we can change it, but those are the realities. And again, I try and talk about them as much. At this point, it's all forced into the clubs involved, just typical brushing it off the top moment. Yeah, it's that's how the AFF is running at the moment now. Tata, it's true. Even if we run another 10 year of top tier football at glamorous level, but we don't put enough groundwork into grassroots, we would stay there for lifetime, right? Now, Renal, you're yeah, you have to work at both ends. I think that's a very important thing, that you have to work at the top and you have to work at the bottom. Um, and and this is yeah, you need to work on both. But our problem is that India wants and needs the glamour, right? We if we want to be long term successful, I fear we'll have to spend more money and bring the marquee players back, because that's the proof of what we've seen via Messi. I hope they run it well. Let's hope someone. They're asking what RFDL Derby. Yeah. Isn't the solution to preserve late bloomers to have a lot more teams or academies where a huge percentage can keep playing in a competitive environment? Tushar, for that, you would then, like in the senior, in an ideal case scenario, you would have to have like a second tier at youth level as well, locally. You know, um, so therefore, for me, that structure needs to be built. We're always talking about the top tier and national level. Listen, we have clubs and academies at a local level playing these, you know, RFDLs and AFF youth leagues and whatever, who shouldn't be there because they're not good enough. But hey, we have them. I see a lot of Kerala decent talents in my local here, but they aren't much concerned about soccer here. They want to play panchayat, melas, and local sevens or enjoy it there. Leonard, because for them that is easy. That is, there is no aspiration, and for them also sometimes these kind of things, sevens and melas and whatever, you can earn your money. It's like Cape football in Bengal. It is easier to play Cape football than try to work your way up in the Calcutta Football League. So these are realities. Never seen these Nagel fans talking about future of football in India. These guys were chill with no league with almighty CFL. Raj, but that's the problem. I can't change it. You can't change it. What do you think about Mick Cup? Will any kids out of European clubs? To answer your second question, no. Because anyone under the age of 18 cannot sign for clubs in Europe. That's a rule of the European Union and by FIFA. Part one. Part two, Mick Cup is an Easter holiday weekend tournament. right? It is nothing of importance. It's like, all these summer tournaments, autumn tournaments, spring tournaments, these teams play leagues mostly, right? And if you see, it is of no value. But again, it's being sold as the greatest thing in the world. Again, I'm no one to judge, but will this big talk and big show work in the actual playing field or not just on paper? Time will only tell. Time will, it's about time. It's it's about where do we stand, what do we have, and it's Indian football is a lot of talk and no substance. Other was Messi a late bloomer in physical level. Fabregas said Messi was so fragile when he came to La Masia. He was really a late bloomer in physical level. Lionel Messi is a very special case, and there are interesting stories about Lionel Messi, where he was given injections and vitamins and this and that and everything before he came to Spain. Um, yeah, he was, and Lionel Messi was always a very gifted footballer, talented footballer, quality footballer. That is what Lionel Messi has been or is, and therefore that's the difference between him and others. And Lionel Messi has shown over the years what kind of a quality player he is. So therefore, that's a different level of a discussion. Is the top bottom fix still the way forward, considering the financial implosion we've had with the ISL? Simon, we need to do top and we need to do bottom. We need to do both. But the problem is who will invest into the bottom part, right? Your problem is even who will invest into the top part because you need a commercial partner and no commercial partners coming at the moment. The amount Scooter spent on paid PR could have been used for creating 100 Messis. Listen, Raj, sorry, the money he's spending on the PR is actually money that he's raising of people to go on these supposed European tours, right? Again, this is not helping Indian football. It is harming Indian football. I doubt how many clubs can recover the losses endured during this 9-10 month alone in years to come. Simon, they've been enduring losses for the last 11 years. So that is not new. The point is that they're going to lose money in the last 3 months at a higher level, at a higher rate. If you ratio that in this quarter, what they're going to lose is going to be higher than what they've lost before. So that's a reality, right? That's a reality. And, um, you know, it is, you know, it's, I don't know how we're going to get out of this. Yeah, right. Is German system built in a way that it doesn't leave the late bloomers alone at the end? Even a late physical bloomie can work their way up to top. Yes, no, they can. Because we have that system now. We have a lot of kids. There are two ways. One, you can go into an academy of a top football club at a very young age, and you can be successful there, or you don't. You know, and or you work your way up, play lower divisions and all. We have an example now. Marlon Rose Trujillo at 16, 17, 18, you would have expected the boy to at least be a Bundesliga player. But he seemed to have peaked at 17, 18, and then it's been downhill, and now he's going to end up with the Blasters. And you never know. But he might work his way up again. Who knows? I hope and wish the player all the best. But there are other boys who we didn't know at 16, 17, 18, and they made their way into the team, right? So therefore, this is football. So yeah, that's crowdfunding, yeah. Was Anand so special in his playing? Of course he was. El Fenomeno was exceptional footballer. Exceptional, exceptional, exceptional. Right? If you want to see it from that perspective, right? There are very few players of that quality. Right. Ooh, 2 hours 15 minutes plus, nearly 2 hours 16 minutes. Once more, reminder: like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Watch my other content as well. Support Arun Foot. Without your support, the channel can reach nowhere. And as always, thank you, because Lionel, Raj, Hannibal, Blue, Aditya, others, Akash, and others some difficult things to discuss. But yeah, those are the realities of Indian football. And today we saw what the reality of Indian football is, that a lot of people are uninformed, ill informed, believe in fake narratives. And we need to fight that in the best interest of Indian football, in the best interest that Indian football can reach a better, a higher level in the future. And I'll take this as a last comment. Mourinho said R9 is the most talented player he's ever seen. Who's your biggest natural talent you've ever seen? I saw him at an older age, but I saw him at Bayern Munich, Gerd Müller. I think the most underrated player ever. He should be in the discussions with a Pelé, a Cruyff, a Beckenbauer, a Maradona, a Messi. I've seen him at 60, right? Um, God gifted talent. And to me, Gerd Müller would always be that. And with that, Reynald, thanks for all your queries and questions for today and this live. I'll be back tomorrow with another Indian football and more discussion. And let's hope for better times ahead for Indian football, and that people understand and believe in the truth, that people understand and what crossroads we find ourselves in Indian football. Thanks and good night, everyone.